Gabriel Iglesias, or Fluffy, known for his storytelling and sound effects. He built a massive audience. With his relatable humor and energetic performances, selling out arenas and starring in Netflix specials. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize holder, by her extraordinary and enthusiastic activism in developing the girls' education and women's rights, she was recognized and awarded with the Nobel Prize when she was 17. Aelita Andre, a professional painter, an Australian-Russian artist who started painting at 9 months old. And held her first solo exhibition when she was 4 years old. Currently, she's 18 years old, and she continues pursuing her interest and following and pursuing her passion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those were people who achieved significant success at their early age. That is surely impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud them for such a big effort to reach this level. My name is Abrorhajaev Ahmadxo'ja. I'm 17 years old, and this year I'm gonna be 18. And I have a question for you guys. Do you think that people who were or are still considered as my teens and showing or already showed significant and big results means that my life was useless and those moments of my life didn't pay me off like in their case? Some of you may answer me yes or no. Some of you may stay silent. And a very few of you may explain me. But what's more interesting, why didn't I achieve the things like they did? It may look as though impossible, but here there are people who have gone through this. Why can't I do the same like they did? Where am I lacking? Why the positions that takes decades to achieve? How would they accomplish it within a short time? And from this, I immerse myself in self-underestimation, self-comparison, and absolute self-discrimination. This is what happens when you continuously keep comparing yourself with others. These are clear consequences of absolute self-hate. However, why does this happen? Why do we tend to use a comparison as a tool of negative power? How would you get rid of this habit? How can you get rid of this habit? Or is it possible to get rid of this habit? Hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, before telling the reasons and methods that can be useful for you to conquer your self-comparison, it is highly advisable for all of us to understand the word comparison in detail. So the word comparison means the act of examining two or more things together to identify their similarities and differences. Imagine I'm choosing a car and I have two beautiful options, the BMW and Mercedes. The aspects that I will most probably look at and pay attention to are cost, luxuriness, comfort, engine characters, and so on. And when I'm done with knowing every part about those cars, I start to compare. The BMW might be more expensive than Mercedes. The Mercedes might be faster than BMW. Mercedes might have a lot of functions that will make your way on a road more comfortable, pleasant, secure, and cozy, and so on. And the BMW on the other hand might have a very better looking car, like a race car, like a sport car, a very aggressive one, just so you can see from the picture. And after this careful consideration of balancing, analyzing, and of course, comparing every important feature about those two cars, I'll make my own decision. And my decision is BMW. For those who might want to go for Mercedes, I'm very sorry, but since from childhood it's always been a BMW. I especially like the BMW for competition. Come on, we're not here to talk about cars. So the key point is, the exactly same thing happens when we put ourselves in someone else instead of those two cars. We start to think very negatively, thinking that we don't have anything, thinking that we're literally nothing. And what's even worse, if we carry on doing that, ladies and gentlemen, that might lead to unexpected and unimaginable consequences, you guys, ranging from depression, just like I did in the beginning of my speech, to little ones. Exactly. And the main question that you may ask is, why does this happen? Why does this happen? I mean, why am I thinking myself this way? The reasons can be various, but the most common ones are usually coming from society standards. Like from school, work, social life. And because of that, we always tend to feel the pressure of becoming and being the best. That we need to be the best. That unless we become the best, something will happen in this life and the hereafter, something will ruin everything in our life. Sometimes, from early ground-up childhood, growing up with constant comparisons can make people do self-criticisms. By constantly hearing such phrases, ladies and gentlemen, be ready.
Why can't you be like your sister? See, a neighbor's son's got accepted in Yale, so why can't you do the same?
Or the most common and weird one, ladies and gentlemen, be ready. I saw on Instagram there's a boy who lived in America. He's 18 years old and now he's very rich. So why can't you make money like him?
Dad, I'm 13.
I don't care. When you're gonna be making money like him, then I'm gonna be talking to you. Come on, it's very. And the question is this even possible to stop doing that? And the answer is, of course, yes. If you take any of the following steps. Number 1. Focus on your uniqueness rather than a competition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand one thing about your uniqueness. Your uniqueness can be anywhere. Some of you have already found your uniqueness. Some of you still can find your uniqueness. And a very few of you don't even try to find it. But ladies and gentlemen, when you start to concentrating on what you can, what you love, what you're interested, what you're passionate about, what you're curious about, what you can allocate hours doing that, you automatically forget about anyone who might be stronger or more experienced than you in the same field of interest. Because you obviously don't care. Because the only question that matters to you is how well you personally developed. It's how well you've grown today. And what's the difference between today and the yesterday in terms of progression. Number 2. Realize your struggles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to take a moment from your life. Take a moment of your life. Just think about those moments of your struggles, sleepless nights of pain, when you were bullied sometimes, when you were discriminated. Just remember those times and start to appreciate it. Because only because of struggles and sleepless nights, you're now at your current position and level. Only because of that, you're now at your current level. And when you start doing that, you immediately forget about anyone. Because now you understand how far you are rather than how far others are. And last but not least, always motivate yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to repeat after me. If you're ready, give me your loudest claps that you can make. Ladies and gentlemen, repeat after me. If I were nothing, useless, or not capable, I wouldn't be here and have so many friends around me. Come on, repeat, come on.
I wouldn't be here and have so many friends around me.
Great. If I weren't valuable, I wouldn't have come this far or had people who believe in me.
If I weren't valuable, I wouldn't have come this far or had people who believe in me.
My existence has meaning. My journey has purpose. And the people around me are the proof of that.
My existence has meaning. My journey has purpose. And the people around me are the proof of that.
I'm here for a reason, surrounded by those who care, because I matter more than I sometimes realize.
I'm here for a reason, surrounded by those who care, because I matter more than I sometimes realize.
Ladies and gentlemen, before ending my speech, I'd like to describe a self-comparison in simple words to make conclusion. Self-comparison is like a sharp knife. If you know how to use it, it will help you to create a masterpiece. But if you don't know how to use it, it will make a masterpiece out of you. Thank you very much.